everybody, my name is Lisa Blackstone with the Horse and Rider Club. Did you know that the #1 cause of death among horses is colic? Now, colic simply means bellyache, and it can be any number of ailments that is affecting the horse. Anything mild from, well, having eaten too many little green apples on the ground, or all the way to something life-threatening like having a twisted intestine that might require surgery. So it's important for you to recognize the symptoms of colic and realize that you might not be able to tell how severe it is. And so it's not something to take lightly. When you see the symptoms of colic, you need to get your vet, at least get him on the phone, explain what's happening, and take advice from your vet, because it could be something that could be terrible. It could be something that could pass on its own. But in any case, make sure you look for the symptoms of colic. And let me just talk about those for a second. One of the first things you'll see a horse do that is experiencing a bout of colic is you'll notice that he's more lethargic than normal. Might notice that his head is hanging down a little lower than he normally does. Remember, colic means their belly hurts for whatever reason. And when their belly hurts, sometimes they'll turn their head around and nudge their belly with the end of their nose, or at least reach over towards it. That's a very clear sign that there's something going on there. Often also they will paw the ground. They'll look uncomfortable. They will paw the ground and then try to lay down. And if they do lay down, often they will try to roll and roll over. They're trying to find a way to alleviate their pain, and they're not being very successful at it. But the best thing to do if they do lay down is to not let them roll all the way over. If they want to lay down, fine, but don't let them roll over, because that might exacerbate a problem they're already having, say with a twisted intestine or something like that. Other signs, you will find that their breathing will probably increase, their rate of breathing. You'll also find that they are sweating often, not always, but often they will be. You might see also in their gums, they might lose some of the pink tone in their gums, so check that also. These are the main signs of colic. Each individual horse can respond a little differently. Over the years, I've had many, and some are kind of wimpy and will show dire signs of colic, and it turned out to be nothing. And then other horses are very stoic and are in tremendous pain and not showing it as much as another horse might. So you have to be alert. You have to really look for these signs. Now, what causes colic? Well, there are all numbers of things, but I'm just going to go over a handful of the most common ones for you now. One are internal parasites. That's why it's important to keep your horse on a deworming program at all times. So keep that in mind. Keep them on a deworming program. Also, any kind of change or increase in grain, any kind of feed changes. If you've decided he's a little bit underweight and you want to increase his weight, well, that's fine. But gradually increase his grain over a period of time, not in 1 day or 2 days, because that could make him colic. Also, if you are working a horse, if you've got a show horse, for example, and they are stressed, they work extra hard one day, and they maybe are not cooled out as thoroughly and as slowly as they should have been, that can also cause colic. So if you've got a horse that for whatever reason has been extremely worked in whatever division he's in, then keep an eye on him just in case. The weather changes, believe it or not. If you had a sudden drop or increase in weather temperature, that can make a horse colic. And some of you live in sandy areas. If you live in a sandy area and you've got horses that are grazing outside, horses can get sand colic. And what happens then is that as they graze and they pick up these pieces of hay or grass, they pick up the roots too, and they wind up swallowing a lot of grain, and that can cause blockages in their intestinal wall. Of course, moldy hay, bad grain, anything like that's going to cause it, and a lack of water. You want to make sure everything's getting passed through regularly with a lot of water to flush out his system. If they don't have a lot of water, that can create an impaction, and that can be a very serious form of colic. Well, I hope all of that helped. It was just a brief overview. There's a lot to know about colic, and if you suspect that your horse has any of those symptoms, call your vet and be on the safe side. Well, if you enjoyed this video, if it was helpful at all, I invite you to come to my website and sign up there at horseridingvideos.org. And if you do that and sign up on my homepage there, it will take you to another page where you will have 20 more videos to watch, very similar to this one. Thanks for listening.